The Dark Swan is the first episode of the fifth season of the American fantasy drama series Once Upon a Time, which aired on September 27, 2015. In this episode, the events of Emma Swan being consumed by the darkness have left the residents of Storybrooke without the savior, leaving Regina, Mary, Margaret, Hook, David, Henry, Robin Hood, and Belle to find a way to save her, even if it means turning to an unlikely individual that they cannot trust. Meanwhile, Emma finds herself in the Enchanted Forest where she encounters Merida en route to Camelot in her search for Merlin before the darkness consumes her for good. Commentators gave the episode positive reviews, citing the episode's dark and more human tone following the events of the fourth season finale. Plot: opening sequence: Granny's diner is shown in the forest, in the character's past. In a movie theater in 1989 Minneapolis, Minnesota, a young Emma is watching The Sword in the Stone. She steals a woman's candy bar, and is approached by an usher, who tells Emma, "Don't do it." She expects him to reprimand her, but he instead offers her advice by saying, "When you do something that you're not supposed to do, even if you're doing it for the right reason, bad things will happen." He also mentions that she will have the opportunity to remove Excalibur from its stone and warns her not to touch it just before he disappears. In Camelot, before Emma's arrival, King Arthur and two of his knights, Sir Lancelot and Sir Percival, arrive to the location of the stone in which Excalibur is embedded. Sir Kay has found it first, and as he tries to pull the sword out, he is turned to ash. Despite this, Arthur proceeds with his mission and manages to successfully pull the sword out, only to discover that the tip is missing. He vows to seek out the missing piece, which is revealed to be the blade of the Dark One's dagger. In Storybrooke, just moments after Emma harnessed the powers of the Dark One and vanished, leaving behind only the dagger with her name on it, everyone is left stunned, bewildered, and angry at each other. While Regina is furious over what Emma has done, Margaret still believes that Emma has good in her and that she can be saved. Hook takes the dagger to summon her back, but to no avail, as Regina explains, Emma has gone to a different world. Later, they learn from the apprentice that Emma is now in the Enchanted Forest, and he has a wand that was given to him by Merlin, which contains all of the light magic, which can help them find Emma, but open a portal to another realm if it is wielded with two sides of the coin, the light and the dark. The apprentice dies and drops the wand. Regina picks up the wand but cannot use it, as she no longer has darkness anymore. They need someone wicked. Regina and Robin Hood go to the hospital ward to see Selina. Zelina agrees to help if she could see the wand, but needs something meaningful to Emma so the spell will work. She also cannot use her magic unless Regina removes the cuff that is restricting Zelina's magic. Regina refuses. Later, at Granny's, Hook and Henry formulate a plan to release Selina. However, the plan backfires, and Selina breaks free from the cell after cutting off her hand to remove the magic cuff. Selina takes Robin captive and trades him for the wand, which she intends to use to return to Oz. As Selina opens a portal, which takes the form of a cyclone and substantially drains her powers, Regina takes advantage of Zelina's weakened powers to put the cuff back on her wrist, as well as to redirect the portal to take them to the Enchanted Forest, using Emma's blanket to locate her. The cyclone immediately heads towards Granny's diner, and transports everyone in the establishment to the location of Emma's whereabouts. In the Enchanted Forest, Emma emerges in the Enchanted Forest through the vault of the Dark One, and finds herself haunted by the voice of the darkness inside of her, which has manifested as a personification of Rumpelstiltskin. She struggles to resist, and vows not to hurt her family. Then, Emma runs up to a peddler, only to become consumed by Rumpelstiltskin's guidance, to the point of nearly using her dark magic to kill the peddler. The Dark One guides Emma through using a transportation spell, and she sees a will-o'-the-wisp. The Dark One tells her that for the wisp to answer her question, she will have to catch it. As she chases it, Emma comes upon a red-headed archer named Merida, who nabs the wisp and places it in her bag. Emma confronts Merida, accidentally using dark magic, and tries to convince her that she needs it to find Merlin. Merida is reluctant to trust Emma, but decides to go with her, keeping the wisp in her bag. Merida informs Emma that more wisps can are born at the Hill of Stones, so they head in that direction. Emma learns that Merida needs the wisp in order to find out what happened to her triplet younger brothers and restore her family's kingdom. After they make camp for the night, the manifestation of Rumpelstiltskin tries to guide Emma into betraying Merida once they reach the home of the wisps. The manifestation of Rumpelstiltskin tells Emma that once Merida speaks into the wisp, it will continue to do her bidding until she dies, and thus, the only solution would then be for Emma to kill her. Merida overhears the conversation, and sneaks off to the Hill of Stones by herself. Emma catches up with her in the morning and is goaded by Rumpelstiltskin's manifestation, against her better judgment and good nature, to rip Merida's heart out. Before Emma can crush the heart, Hook appears with the others and stops her. Once everything has settled down, Margaret hands Emma the dagger. However, Emma, believing that carrying the dagger would give her too much power, wants someone else to possess it. She decides to give the dagger to Regina, since she would be the only one capable of killing Emma if necessary. Moments later, King Arthur and some of his knights arrive on horseback in order to proclaim that they have been awaiting Emma's arrival. Arthur believes that Emma will be able to reunite them with Merlin, and everyone involved joins forces on their quest en route to Camelot. In Storybrooke, 6 weeks after the group entered Camelot, they awaken in Granny's diner, back in Storybrooke, where they are wearing Arthurian attire. However, they also find that the memory ends with them entering Camelot. To make matters worse, Emma has embraced the darkness, acquired the Dark One's dagger, and vows revenge against the others for failing her. Production. This episode officially marked the additions of Rebecca Mader and Sean Maguire to series regulars after spending the past 2 seasons in recurring roles. Reception. Ratings. The season premiere posted its lowest numbers ever, placing a 1.85 among 18 to 49s, with 5.93 million viewers tuning in. A 48% drop from the 4th season premiere, but slightly up from the 4th season finale. The episode saw an increase of 2.44 million viewers, and a 1.1 increase in the 18 to 49 demographic, with Live Plus 7 DVR viewing included, which gave the episode an overall audience of 8.37 million viewers, and a 2.9 18 to 49 rating. Reviews. The episode was met with excellent reviews. Critics praised the much darker and human tone of the show, the script, and Emma's role, especially Jennifer Morrison's performance. Andrea Towers of Entertainment Weekly said, much like the first season of the fairy tale show, it looks like we'll spend most of 5A looking back to what actually happened in those missing 6 weeks, how Emma became the Dark One, and what it means for Storybrooke. It'll be interesting to see where this season lands overall. Last year, we spent months entombed in a frozen arc that seemed to stretch on for so long, it made even the warmest of fans feel icy. Putting Emma in the spotlight as the Dark One seems like an attempt to bring some focus back to the show's themes as well as its central characters, despite the fact there are certainly going to be many new ones popping in over the season. And hey, Hey, if we learned anything from last season's Queens of Darkness, it's that maybe we'll at least get some awesome wardrobe changes for Emma, some darker eyeliner, strappy or some 3-inch stilettos. The possibilities are endless. Amy Ratcliffe of IGN said of the episode, "Once Upon a Time got right to the main event in the Season 5 premiere, Emma's transformation into the Dark Swan. They could have dragged the will she, won't she aspect out for several episodes, but going this route means a more interesting take on the story and seeing more of Morrison playing the villain." Morrison delivered some of her best work on the show to date, and it's terrific to see the plot focus on a member of the regular cast. Ratcliffe gave the episode a 8.4 rating out of 10. In a review from Wiki.org, Nick Roman said, "The Dark Swan was a tremendous premiere for Once Upon a Time, because it played with the structure of the series to breathe new life into it. Instead of a flashback, we get a flash forward that future flashbacks will illuminate. We'll see how Emma comes to lose her goodness, and how her humanity might be reclaimed. If nothing else, we'll get to see evil Jennifer Morrison, which I'm more than stoked to witness, with what little we got of it tonight. In short, Once Upon a Time is back, and I couldn't be happier." Gwen Inett of the AV Club gave the premiere a positive review, giving it a C+ grade for the entire setup, but the final moments received a A+. She said that the Camelot storyline is a 4,000% improvement over last year's Frozen plot, and added that, if the show goes full-on Dark Emma, it will be hard to turn away. Christine Orlando of TV Fanatic gave the episode a 4.4 out of 5 stars. In a review from Blog Critics, Barbara Bennett praised the changes in the storyline and unique twists in this episode and the upcoming season. "I have to say, I really loved the way series creators Adam Horowitz and Eddie Kitsis have merged bits of Arthurian legend into the Once Upon a Time landscape. For the sword in the stone to the introduction of Arthur and Lancelot, I think this just might work and be far more integrated into the series' narrative than Frozen had been. And for that I cheer!" Quote,